Yo, people them, next day PCs for gamers and content creators from the guys at CyberPower. Let's see if they actually bang. First of all, big up CyberPower for sponsoring today's video. Now, they told me to look at their selection of next day available PCs, pick one of them to see if it's actually good enough for the gaming and content creation thing. Now, for me specifically, I like to game at 4K. I like to edit 4K videos as you're watching right now, and more time. Realistically, man is working on minimal budget. So instead of picking one of these overly expensive next day PCs that CyberPower are offering, we're going to see what they've got under £1,000 that can actually get the content creation and gaming workloads done. Now, I've been pre-ing this thing called the Ultra 55, currently $799. Apparently it came down from £1,000. Comes with a Ryzen 5 6-core thing, only 16GB of RAM, but it does come with that NVIDIA RTX 4060, which I think in this situation should save the day in terms of performance. Anyway, let's get it down here and see what's really good. Alright, so we're all unboxed. I thought I'd just plug it in quickly to make sure everything powers up nicely. You can see that the RGB fans are doing their thing. The motherboard's kind of tiny in there. In fact, let me just get the front cover off so you can see without any reflections. Alright, now that we got the front cover off, we can have a little closer look inside. Everything is looking nice and neat. I could never do a job like this when building a PC. Look at the fans, man, they're all chilling. NVIDIA RTX 4060 chilling there, terabyte of SSD, 2 RAM slots filled up there. Might even upgrade those sometime in the future. Yeah, it's looking nice, man, I can't lie. Furthermore, guys, imagine I just found this remote in the bottom of the box. I didn't realize it controls the RGB on the fans, fam. Obviously, you got the red thing, got blue, orange, green, all them colors there. You got the automatic thing, which, yeah. This is what man's about, the disco thing. Yeah, you see it? Disco thing, fam. And then you even got different levels of disco, see? Come on. Yeah, bare different levels. Subtly changed, I don't know if you guys can see it. Different shades of purple going on right now, yeah? Little piece of green with the thing spinning. Mad thing. Yeah, man. This sticker remote's sick, but I don't know how I'm going to change it if I lose this remote. Now, in terms of buttons on the top, obviously you got the on button, you got a button next to the on button. I don't even know what that does, fam, but yeah, that button's there as well. 2 USB 3.0 ports, headphone jack, and you got a microphone thing there as well. Now on the back, you got quite a few ports going on. You got HDMI, you got old school DVI. The processor in here at the moment doesn't have any iGPU, so you can't use any of these for display output at the moment. You got old school analog mouse and keyboard ports, 4 USB 3.0 ports, 2 more USB 2.0 ports, an Ethernet port, and you got some audio stuff down there. And in the NVIDIA RTX 4060, you got 3 display ports and a HDMI. Alright, so now that man's plugged in a monitor, all we got to do now is go through the Windows setup process and start downloading all the updates to make sure I get the true potential that this PC is capable of. Other things to know is that this computer doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth built in, but they did give me a Wi-Fi dongle USB thing and a Bluetooth USB dongle thing so that I can just plug that in the back and give this computer Wi-Fi or Bluetooth capabilities. But because I literally live right next to my router, I just plugged in by the Ethernet and I was pretty much good to go. Now we're going to get into gaming performance. Obviously, you know, man like me likes to play a little bit of 2K, 4K if I'm feeling fancy, but obviously this is a budget gaming PC with a mid-range RTX 4060, so it's more likely that people buying this are going to have a 1080p monitor to maybe a 2K monitor in it. So let's look at 1080p performance first of all. That is what NVIDIA are rating the RTX 4060 at anyway, and then let's have a little dabble in the 2K and 4K arena. Alright, now first up we got Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, one of the best looking games on PS5, if not the best looking game. It looks sick on PC as well. They've done really well with the port. We're doing up 1080p at maximum graphical settings, fam. We got DLSS on quality mode here, and we've also got a little bit of frame generation for what it's worth. Next up, say we gotta do some Helldivers 2. This game has been hella addictive online. We're getting a good, strong 60 frames per second plus, playing on 1080p maximum game settings. Again, look, No DLSS this time, straight native things, cuz you get me. Now, obviously, for that culture, we gotta play some Fallout 4. I don't know how many of you have been watching the series, but that thing is looking sick. Anyway, 1080p, maximum ultra settings. We're getting 144 frames per second, which is the max frame rate of this monitor right here, fam. This is overkill for playing Fallout 4. I think Fallout 4 is actually quite cinematic, so it does look good at 30 frames per second and 60. But yeah, if you did want to do Fallout 4 competitively, maybe for a speedrun or something, you got your 144 hertz there. Now, obviously, you know, we got to wheel up Horizon Zero Dawn, which again, one of the best looking games ever to grace PlayStation, cuz 100 frames per second in some spots, 1080p, ultra settings. What more do you want? Obviously, we've got the NVIDIA DLSS to give us a bit of a frame boost there, but this looks more than playable at 1080p, and the game just feels wickedly fluid. Then we're going to move on to some Race Driver Grid. Now, this is the original Race Driver Grid. I think it came out like 2007 or something like that. But yeah, 1080p, maximum settings, obviously. Game looks and runs brilliantly. I could never have imagined running the game this well back when it first came out. I don't even think I had a gaming PC them times. Now, Death's Door is a sick game, fam. Like, it's given Zelda, it's given Tunic, it's a little top-down hack and slash Metroidvania, 3D Metroidvania kind of situation going on here. This game obviously runs maximum settings, even at 4K resolution, to be honest. I can't even lie. It's one of them easy to play games. Yeah, just wait to show you that it works, obviously. Of course, we've got Cult of the Lamb, which is another indie bad boy. Maximum resolution, maximum frame rate, 120 frames per second, locked in with that V-Sync. This is the only way to be playing Cult of the Lamb, fam. Like, if you want maximum settings, yeah, this is how it should be played, fam. Esports style, you get me? Next up, I thought we'd hit some of that CSGO 2. I wasn't really worried about what the performance of this would be, but I did want to see how well it could do on the native resolution and refresh rate of my monitor, which is 4K 144 hertz. And at maximum settings, it looks like we was getting around the 70 to 90 mark in terms of frames per second at 4K, which is pretty respectable for a mid-range graphics card. Now, obviously, man's been showing you 1080p things because that's what NVIDIA are rating this card at in terms of graphical power. However, don't sleep on this NVIDIA RTX 4060. It's got plenty of power for the 2K game room. Plenty of power to enter into the 4K game room. If you want to play 4K on this card, you're looking at 4K 30 frames per second maximum, maybe up to higher frame rates in simpler games like Cult of the Lamb or Death's Door. But AAA titles like Horizon Zero, yeah, you're looking at around the 30 frames per second mark, or maybe up to 40 if you want to do that 4K resolution. 2K resolution, it is possible with a bit more tweaking the graphical settings to get those frame rates up to at least 60 frames per second. And I think 2K 60 is my personal sweet spot. Let me know what your personal sweet spot is though for gaming resolution and frame rate. But yeah, this NVIDIA RTX 4060 is no slouch at all. Now, I can't lie, gaming's just one side of the story with this desktop, because you also know man has to do my 4K video editing, and I can't lie, the NVIDIA RTX 4060 surprised me. And I say that because I've actually got an RTX 3090 in my normal rig. I was expecting this NVIDIA RTX 4060 to edit my videos much slower, but the thing is actually keeping up to pace. Come like they've done some real proper improvements in this NVIDIA 40 series kind of thing, to the point at where 4060 upwards, you're pretty much good for editing 4K video. So yeah, if that's something that you got to do in your workload, lots of 4K video files, 4K 60, 4K 30, 4K 24 frames per second, then you're not going to have any issues with this little desktop right here. Now, one thing buyers might want to be aware of, especially with this specific desktop right here, is that there doesn't seem to be any USB-C ports. And normally I wouldn't care, but quite a lot of my accessories nowadays, use USB-C charging cables, so it'll be nice to plug them directly into the desktop to charge them. But again, a lot of those same accessories have USB-C to USB-A adapters that literally come in the box, so I can just use those instead. But there's also not another PCIe slot on the motherboard for me to add an expansion USB-C card into this desktop. So yeah, no USB-C here, unfortunately. Apart from that, I don't have any complaints at all. It's doing my gaming, it's doing my 4K video editing. Like, what more do you actually want? But again, big shout out to the guys at CyberPower for sponsoring this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Links for this specific desktop are in the description section below. And hopefully, man will catch you guys in the next one.